Welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. Today we are going to be making white chocolate cherry shortbread. This has got to be one of my favorite Christmas cookies, and you know, it's shortbread bread with chopped cherries and lots of white chocolate and sprinkles. Everything Christmassy, and when you see how it turns out, it looks like a Santa head. So anyway, let me show you what we're going to put in our cookies tonight. I'm preparing this for the second version, which is where we're going to be melting 8 ounces of white Ghirardelli white premium chocolate, and that's what we're going to be dipping the cookies in. But to prepare the cookies, I have 2.5 cups of flour. I've got an entire cup of butter, kind of chopped into little squares to get ready to put into the flour. I've got sugar. And I've already taken some maraschino cherries and I've drained them on paper towels and dried them and chopped them small to be about 1/2 cup right here. And then I have 4 ounces of the white premium chocolate that's going to go in the mixture. And it also will have almond extract, and you can put a little bit of red food coloring, but I like to put just the maraschino cherry juice in there, and it turns out really delicious. Okay, so we're going to add all these ingredients right now, and we're going to have some sprinkles on top, of course. So I'll show you that at the very end. Okay, so to get started, we're going to go ahead and put the 2.5 cups of flour already in the bowl, and I'm going to be adding, I believe it's 1/2 cup of sugar. Okay, and just get that mixed in with my pastry blender. This is a pastry blender. You can use 2 knives if you don't have one, but heck, I'm a cook and I need these things all the time, so I have like 2 of these at least on hand at all times for making pie pastry as well. But we're going to mix that up, and then we're going to go ahead and put all of the butter in here. That's 2 cubes of butter. And you can see I'm just going to break these up to smaller pieces. And I'm going to start using my pastry blender to mix these up into the sugar and flour mixture. And this will take a few minutes. You want it to be like the size of small peas. So I'm going to keep mixing this like this. Okay, this is starting to come together right now. And then what I do is when it gets too clumpy, I just scrape it off like this. And just keep mixing it together, mashing that butter into the mixture. This is what makes amazing shortbread, and this is why you don't want to use margarine. You only want to use highest quality of ingredients. If you're going to make something special like that, use the very best. So I only use butter. Plus, this gives you a nice little arm workout too. See my mixture here? I've added in the butter, and it's just little small pieces. Some of them are a little bigger than others, but pretty much it's all mixed in really nicely because it's going to be making a crust. This is how you make lemon bar crust and other crusts for shortbreads. Okay, what we're going to do to add to this is a whole one of these 4 ounces of the white chocolate chopped nicely. I'm going to put that in the mixture here. We're also going to add the cherries. I'm going to give it some color. And we're also going to add 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. Now, you always like to see almonds and cherries together. I have a lot of recipes that have almond and cherry together, and it's a great combination. My fruit pizza has it and other kinds of recipes. It's great. Okay, I'm going to mix this up together, and then I'm going to start adding a little maraschino cherry juice until I can get it to start molding together into a ball. So that's nice and mixed together, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this. So it's going to turn pink, which is what we want, pink or red. Okay, I've been adding enough cherry juice at a time so that this is easily turned into a moist little ball. You can use it into a ball, and you can easily make it into little balls of cookies, but I like to turn it into like a little log. So let me show you how I do that, because I'm going to slice it. Okay, so I didn't measure how much I put in. I just put in the juice, how much maraschino cherry juice, or you can put a red food coloring in too if you want brighter. But the juice colors it nicely. And I'm going to roll this out a little bit longer and just shape it into a log. This is actually kind of fun to do because you're using your hands and you're molding, and it's going to be very lovely and delicious. So I'm going to make this just a little bit longer. How I want it to look. Now, meanwhile, I have my oven set at 325 to bake these cookies for 10 to 12 minutes. Since this is a shortbread cookie, it's not going to brown a lot, so you won't see a brown cookie because you want it to be a shortbread cookie. And then we'll start the next phase of cooling and... Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to take it and slice these. Get ready for the baking, and I slice them about a ½ inch a piece apart. Look at those beautiful cherries in ready to go in the oven. I'm going to be put these in for, I believe, 10 to 14 minutes. So I'm going to check with my oven because everybody's oven's a little bit different. So we'll go from there. Okay, our cookies have come out of our shortbread cookies have come out of the oven. And what I've been doing is I have 2 teaspoons of shortening mixed with the 2 candy bars that were left, the 8 ounces. They were 4 ounces each. The other 4 ounces went inside the cookies, and so it's nice and melted. This is white chocolate, the white chocolate bars that I showed you earlier. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off now. And that's why you want to keep it warm right here so it'll dip quickly, because it can kind of start hardening up a little bit after that. So I just want to make a quick note about these cookies. I probably put a little bit too much of the maraschino cherry juice in them, so they weren't quite as hard as I wanted, but I baked them quite a bit longer, about 20 minutes instead of 12 to 15. So you want to watch that. Another way to mix that together easily to come together without having to put too much juice in it is to use your KitchenAid or your mixer and just do it really hard until it kind of all the dough comes together nicely into the nice log like I showed you. So that's a tip you might want to be aware of. Okay, so I'm going to take one of our cookies and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of dip it down here, and I want about half of my cookie to be in there, and then I'm going to dip this in different colors. And I love this because it kind of looks like a little Santa hat and a Santa. That's the reason I like that one. Okay, so now I'm going to take another one. I'm going to dip it right here. I'm going to dip it in the red. And I'm going to take one here and I'll dip it in the green and see how that looks. There's a little Santa hat and in the little thing top like that. Okay, so you could take all of your cookies and put them in different dipping. These are other little sprinkles you can use. There you go. You want to leave these on the parchment until they're completely cool. Our white chocolate cherry shortbread cookies are finished. It has the white chocolate topping and sprinkles on top of that. You can pick whatever you like. Ready on the Christmas platter to serve to your friends and family. They're going to be part of my big Christmas platters I'm taking around to my family and friends.